The French and Indian War provided Great Britain with enormous territorial gains in North America, but disputes over subsequent frontier policy and paying the war's expenses led to colonial discontent and then eventually the American Revolution. The English victory in the war decided the colonial fate of North America, and yet at the same time sowed the seeds of the eventual colonial revolution. The British ended their century-long policy of salutary neglect, attempting to keep the colonials under a more watchful eye. Britain incurred a large debt from the cost of war and the taxes that they imposed.
So for us to fully understand the impact this war had on the British Empire, we need to have a deep understanding of the state that the British Empire was in at the beginning of this war. So at the beginning of the French and Indian War, the British Empire was really focused on establishing a strong, prominent presence within the 13 colonies. This war ended up providing the British Empire to significantly grow their territory in North America, and this also severely increased their debt due to costs of war.
These are the most two known people and two events that occurred in the French and Indian War. First, we have George Washington.
George Washington played a crucial role in the French and Indian War by leading the military expeditions that led to the tensions between Britain and France.
Then we had William Pitt.
William Pitt was a British Secretary of State during the war. He played an important role in Britain's victory by boosting military efforts in North America by reorganizing leadership and focusing on securing key territories.
Next, we have the two events. The first event, Battle of Fort Necessity in 1754. It was the first major clash in the French and Indian War where George Washington's small force was defeated and forced to surrender by the French and Native Americans over disputes in the Ohio Valley. Next, we have the capture of Fort Yancey in 1758, the key British victory in the war where General John Lawrence took control of the French for forcing them to abandon it. This secured the Ohio country from Britain and French influence.
So the Treaty of Paris occurred on February 10, 1763, and it's the treaty that ended the 7 Years' War, and it's where Britain defeated France, and it led to France losing a lot of its North American territory, and then the agreement of the war was that Britain got that territory, and then in 1783 the treaty led to the end of the American Revolutionary War, which is when the United States gained independence from Britain, became like its own part of the world.
Here we have different maps that show the before and after of the size of the colonies. Here we have the map before the war happened. The colonies consisted of a large French colony, smaller sized British colony, and large Spanish colony. The French colony was one of the largest colonies in the American continent before the war. Then a dispute in the Ohio River Valley led to the collapse of the French colony. This caused what we now see on the aftermath. Colonial land was taken over by both the Spanish and British in hopes of further colonization in those areas after the Treaty of Paris.